So I'm going to teach you guys how to do the next part of the assignment. So go ahead and put a new layer above everything. Just ignore these folders. Like I said, these aren't important. They're from previous classes. So just this should be all your work from the previous days. So just put a new layer above all that. And we're going to call this particles. Okay, so we're just going to make some particles. These particles are going to mimic like what you see when light hits the air and you see all those dust particles flying around. So go ahead and take your brush tool, set this to 1 pixel, and set the hardness to 70%. Okay, leave the opacity at 100, leave the flow at 100%. So we're just going to take our brush, set this all the way to white, press OK, and I'm going to zoom in with Control plus, pan with my spacebar. I'm holding down spacebar to pan around, and I'm just going to sprinkle around my particles around my image. So I'm going to jump between 1 pixel size brush and the 2 pixel size brush. So to quickly do that, instead of going back and forth from over here, changing it to 2. See, I even get caught. It just takes a while. So instead of doing that, going over here, putting a dot, going over here, changing the size back to 1, putting a dot, and doing that back and forth. You guys can use the brackets on your keyboard. It's right next to your P. There's a left bracket and then there's a right bracket. The left bracket makes your brush smaller like this, and then the right bracket makes your brush bigger like that. So I'm just going to sprinkle a whole bunch of these all around my canvas. I will have more 1 pixel particles than 2 pixel particles. So these are my 1 pixel, and then I'll quickly change to my 2 pixel with the right bracket. Click, and I'm just going to sprinkle this all over the canvas. Okay, make this as random as you can. There's no pattern, but generally there's more light particles where you see the sunbeams. Okay, if you guys don't have this itachi or this image, please look at my previous YouTube video to do that assignment. So I'm just gonna sprinkle this all over the place. Okay, I think I'm almost done with this area, so I'm gonna move down. It also helps if you zoom out and you see where you're at. I'm just gonna sprinkle everywhere. Make sure to pause, pause and place your particles, because if you just do this really fast, you're gonna end up making some lines. Okay, I'm gonna put more particles around this area. Just like that. You guys can do this one over here manually, but I'm a little bit lazy, so I'm going to just let me do this right here first. So I'm just gonna make a copy of this. So right click on this layer, click on duplicate layer, and I'm gonna click or hit my V key on my keyboard, or go over here to the move tool, click on that, and just drag this to the other side. You guys can flip this by going up to edit, going down to transform, and click on flip vertically. Okay, and just move this into place wherever you want. I think right there is fine. And I'm just gonna duplicate this. There's an easier way to duplicate instead of you keeping to like right click and click on duplicate layer. Go to your keyboard and then just press Ctrl J, and it'll do the same thing. There's so many shortcuts to Photoshop and Photopea to make your life easier. If you guys learn or master these shortcuts, you guys will be more efficient in doing your work. You could also map shortcuts, like maybe you want to flip your canvas, so you can map those shortcuts to a key on your keyboard. And I'm just going to place these around. I want to make this one kind of smaller and put it up here somewhere. So I'm just going to take this group, go to edit, free transform, or you can go and click on Control Alt and T to transform. I think it's just Control T on Photoshop, so if you guys have Photoshop, it's Control T, but since I'm on Photopea, I'm gonna do Control Alt T and Command J to duplicate that, move that over to the side. Okay, so now I have all these particles flying around. I want to make some big ones too, so I'm gonna go down to one of my particles, Control J to duplicate, Control Alt T to transform, or you can go up to edit, free transform. I'm gonna make this kind of big. Just like that. Control J to duplicate. And move that other copy over here on this side. I'm gonna combine these two big copies. I'm just gonna shift click on both of these, right click, and then go to merge layers. And then I'm gonna go up to filter, blur, and then Gaussian blur. I'm gonna change this to around 1.5, press OK. And now we should be done with these particles. Okay. So I'm just gonna hold down shift and then click on each one of these. And then go to file down here, click on new folder, and it should all put them in a new folder. I'm gonna double click on these and then rename these to background particles. Okay. Now I'm gonna make a new layer above these, And what I'm going to do to these is, to this layer is I'm going to make some foreground particles, like this. These particles right here. Oh. So make a new layer. I'm going to rename this to foreground particles. Change your brush to, go to your brush, change your brush to 100% hardness. Increase your brush to around 400. And you want to color pick the background. To color pick the background, you hold down your Alt key and then just click on the background. Or you can go to the box down here, click on your box, and then you're able to click on the background somewhere over here outside your box, and then press OK. And now I'm just going to stamp this once up here. I'll do once down here. I'm going to decrease my brush size to around 90 or around this size, because I know it looks different on different size screens. I'm going to decrease my brush size a little more. Stamp right there. Increase my brush size. Go over here. Decrease my brush size. Again. Stamp like that. And you can see I kind of made like a hook shape with these particles. So it's a little more interesting than kind of scattering these around, since they're more visible. And now I'm going to change this from normal to soft light, because I think we've used overlay for a light, but you can see it's kind of harsh. So I'm going to use soft light. Or you can use overlay if you want that harshness, but not too much, so you want to decrease it just a little bit. But I'm going to keep mine at soft light. I'm going to keep the opacity at 100% because this looks fine. Then I'm going to go to filter, blur, and Gaussian blur. I'm going to set this to 2.3. Press OK. And that's how you do the next part of the assignment. I think I'm going to assign this today or tomorrow, and it's going to be due on Monday. Let's see, what day is that? That's going to be that's going to be the 8th. So I'll make this due on the 8th, but it's going to be an accumulation of what we learn tomorrow and Friday. If you're watching the video when it's posted today. So if you guys have any more questions, feel free to email me or come to office hours from 2 to 3. Okay guys, have fun with the assignment and good luck.